Hello and welcome to Mumbai Matters. I am Purva Chitnis, special correspondent with ThePrint. With just few weeks to go for monsoon, let us understand how Mumbai prepares itself every year for monsoon. The average seasonal rainfall for the city is around 2,300 mm. In fact, the high tide and heavy rains also makes it really difficult for city, and the city gets inundated because of it. And also with the multiple agencies working with different jurisdictions, it creates confusion during these heavy rain or high tide times. So let us dissect all these agencies and how they prepare every year for monsoon. So there are multiple agencies like the BMC, Railways, MMRDA working at different jurisdictions. So let's first look at railways. The railways carries out the desilting of drains, cleaning of tracks, especially in the low-lying areas of Kurla, Sion, Baikala. Railways have identified 24 such spots which are low-lying and can get waterlogged. The railway says that at these locations, 166 pumps are provided. The microtunnelling is done at 8 locations including Masjid, Dadar Parel area and Matunga areas. Other than that, the railways has also said that it has carried out the work of trimming of trees, muck removal, installation of floodgates. Along with railways, there is MMRDA, which is carrying out major projects in Mumbai, such as the Mumbai Metro, MTHL, and it says that it has already instructed all its contractors to adhere to the guidelines of removal of debris and muck and also stick to guidelines. And it also says that it is in constant touch with other agencies and has also installed its own control room in case of emergencies. Now let's look at how BMC, which itself is handling most of the work during monsoon, prepares itself. As a part of its monsoon preparedness, the BMC, similar to railways, also identifies the waterlogging spots, desilting of drains. It also establishes an active disaster management cell every year for all the emergency calls, and along with it, the most importantly, BMC also identifies the old and dilapidated buildings and also carries out the work of evacuation of people in case of emergency. So let us look at all these functions one by one. In Mumbai, the BMC says that the total length of small and big drains across the city is around 2,200 kilometers, and these nalas are at least 4 meters deep. As a part of Nala cleaning, BMC takes out 9.8 lakh metric tons of silt every year, and this target has to be achieved by May 31st every year. But the good news is that this year the BMC claims that last week itself this target was already achieved. But there's a caveat. So if you see some desilting work being carried out around your neighborhood, it's because the Mithi River cleaning is not yet complete. It's up to 90% complete and will be completed in the next 2 weeks is what the BMC says. So let's look at Mithi River now. So every time there's high tide or heavy rains, the level of water in Mithi River increases. What happens is that the people living on the banks of Mithi River, they have to be evacuated because of it. So there's a good news there as well. The BMC says that it has decided to install 27 floodgates at the bank of Mithi River, especially in the tidal influence zone that is from the domestic airport area all the way up to Mahim Causeway. What it will happen is like during high tide, the gates will close, as the gates will also have the water pumps at its mouth. So whenever there is high tide or heavy rains, the gates will close so that the water from the river will not come into the stormwater drains. That will be stopped, and then the excess water which is there already in the stormwater drains, it will be easy for the BMC to pump out this excess water. So that is why it's a good news that these floodgates will be installed. And this is a part of the phase 3 of the Mithi River Development and Pollution Control project, which was undertaken after the 2005 Mumbai deluge. However, the work has not yet started, but the BMC says that in the next 10 days or so, the tenders will be invited and the work will hopefully be started very soon. Now coming back to the present, BMC has identified 486 flood spots, and at these spots, BMC has installed water pumps and also CCTV cameras for surveillance. And if you're familiar with Mumbai, there are certain spots like the Andheri subway or Milan subway that gets flooded every time there is a heavy shower. So what the corporation has done this time is that for Andheri subway, there are 6 dewatering pumps which are installed to take the excess water out. And for Milan subway, there is a municipal garden which is nearby. The BMC has constructed an underground water holding pond of capacity of 30,000 cubic meters, which means it is equivalent to 3 crore liters of water. So what the BMC has done is that there are 2 pumps which are installed at the Milan subway. These pumps will drain out the excess water to that underground pond, and the capacity of these pumps is like carrying out excess of 30 lakh liters of water per hour, and this is what the BMC says that it will be a game changer this monsoon. Now, another important aspect of BMC's work is to identify old and dilapidated buildings in Mumbai. This year, BMC says that it has identified 226 such residential buildings which are categorized as C1, which means they are completely unfit for habitation. And BMC has urged the people living in these buildings to vacate those buildings and relocate somewhere else. So the civic body rules also state that if a residential or commercial building is older than 33 years, then its occupants will have to carry out a structural audit and submit a report to the authorities. That's how they classify the C1, C2 type categories for these buildings. So according to the latest BMC data, out of the 226 buildings that they have identified as C1, 126 buildings are in the western suburbs, followed by 65 in the eastern suburbs and 35 in the island city. Also for the slum dwellers who are living next to the slopes of hills in the eastern suburbs of Vikhroli, Govandi, Manpur, BMC has appealed to them to move to safer locations because intense rainfall can lead to landslide causing loss of lives and properties. If you remember, in August 2021, because of landslides in Mahul and Vikhroli, 29 people had lost their lives. So, sensitizing these people and asking them to locate to safer locations is now a part and parcel of BMC officers of these local areas. And now, finally, coming to BMC's disaster management cell. This year, the corporation says that it has introduced a SMS weather alert system which will directly go into the mobile phones of Mumbai citizens. It will provide the real time updates on weather conditions and also help people prepare in case of emergencies. The BMC says that its garden department is also carrying out the work of trimming of trees and branches because during heavy rainfall there are incidences of tree fall. So to reduce those risks, every year the garden department carries out the work of trimming of trees and branches. This year the civic body has also asked its hospitals to keep ready around 3,000 beds in its hospital in case of monsoon related diseases, if at all they may shoot. Also, the BMC commissioner has asked each ward to identify 5 schools which should be kept ready in case of emergencies. Well, these are all the preparations that different agencies across the city of Mumbai carry out every monsoon, and we really sincerely hope that this year this will be a safe monsoon for all the citizens of Mumbai. That's all we have for you in this episode of Mumbai Matters. For more such episodes and ideas, if you want us to talk about, do keep sending in your suggestions and we'll talk about it. And also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel on Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook and Instagram. That's it. Me, Purva Chitnis, signing off for this episode of Mumbai Matters.